Hello, friends. Welcome to the live stream for today. We're going to be watching Feet of Clay. Just real quick, give me a shout. Let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me, if everything's coming through good and crystal clear. And let me know where you're coming from. I see some familiar names in the chat window, but let me know where you're coming from. And I did see a comment in there asking if we were going to be watching part one or part two. And yes, we're watching both parts. We'll watch them obviously in order, part one and then part two. And when I was making the video, I think of it as one story. So I kept saying the episode, but yes, it is clearly, I can hear and see you. Thank you, JT is Reborn. It caught my eye and I went, wait, he can't see me or can see me? So, so hello, everybody. Glad to have everybody here. This is something that I've been threatening to do on a regular basis and just haven't really pulled the trigger, but I think I want to do this. I think I want to do kind of a weekly watch along live stream. I've also been thinking about doing some sort of live Q&A or talk about some of the news that's coming out in the Batman world. So give me a thumbs up if that sounds like something that you guys would enjoy. And I know several people mentioned that they weren't able to join us for the last live stream when we watched Beware the Gray Ghost. And that was back in May. And so it's hard to believe that it's been this long for me to get back into this. JT is Reborn. Yes, Christmas with the Joker for next month. I've had a couple of people that have mentioned that, and I think that's a great idea. I think that we should do a couple of Christmas episodes, or maybe even some Christmas movies. I always think of Batman Returns, even though it's not necessarily a Christmas movie, it does take place during Christmas. So that would be great to tie in for that. We got Brian Parks is saying this is my second favorite episode. Mine as well. Brian, what's your first most favorite episode? How do you say that? First favorite? Your favorite singular episode. Let me know. And all the way in May. Yeah, Wild Tame Flies. I know, it's crazy. Here we are. This pandemic has been going on since March. I've been primarily working from home since it started. And here we are. What is it? 9 months, 10 months, 11, 9, 8, 9. I don't know, somewhere in there. But yeah, and that's why I started initially was, hey, we're all at home. Let's watch some shows together. And then totally the summer just kind of completely got away from me. Before I forget, I am wearing a new shirt today. This is bonus points if anybody can tell what's going on in the shirt. But this was a gift from my brother, Danny Jason. He may pop on here today. He usually comes around, but this is a shirt that he found and thought of me, and it's pretty cool. So I thought this would be a good time to bring this out. So we're just going to give a couple of minutes here, not too terribly long, to give people a chance to get on here. We've got several people that are watching right now. And we'll jump into the episode, and then we'll take a little intermission and start the second episode as we go. Yeah, Batman Returns, one of my favorite. You know, when it first came out, I wasn't a big fan of Batman Returns. It was a little too weird, too far from. I was a huge Batman, the original Batman '89 fan, and so when they came out with the Batman Returns, it seemed a little too far reaching from that. But over the years, I think as it became more and more nostalgic, I was like, it became more and more of my favorite. And so I've been enjoying watching that. I'm getting my laptop booted up now to watch. Yeah, so this would be a good time, if you haven't already, to get your episode queued up. And I have another little trick that I'm going to be able to do is up here in the corner of the screen, I'm going to have the time code of the episode. So if you get lost, or you jump in late, or forget where we're at, you'll be able to see the time code and get kind of caught up. But once we get ready to go, we'll just say 3, 2, 1, play, and we'll play and we'll watch straight through with the titles. If you're watching on some sort of streaming service like me, I'm watching DC Universe. They give you the option to skip the opening, but to me, the opening is one of the highlights of the show. Is one of the reasons why the show is so good. So I don't like to skip that. Maybe that's just me, but we'll watch that through just so the time code matches up for everybody. So it's about 5 after. I'm going to give another minute and give people a chance to get booted up, get your snacks. So this is kind of crazy. When we did this stream in May, I had mentioned, hey, bring your snacks and we'll watch this. And I went up into my cupboard and I had these snacks that I had never had before, which is surprising because I'm a huge peanut butter fan. And it was a Reese's chocolate covered pretzels. I had never had them. I tried them for the first time during the live stream of Beware the Gray Ghost. And I loved them. I ate them shortly after that, within a couple of days after the stream, and then never got them again. And ironically, I have them again. This is not the same bag. This is a different bag. My wonderful mother-in-law gave this to me as a gift. It was in our Halloween basket. And so I've been hanging on to them, and I thought, how funny is it that I only eat these apparently on the live stream watch alongs. So I'm going to have some today. I'll try not to crunch in your ear. They are a little crunchy, but I will try to mute my microphone as we go. All right. So here we go. Let's get everything ready to go and queued up. Let me get that, the timer up here in the corner. There we go. We should be zeroed out. And when I hit play, that timer will start going. And we should all be pretty well synced up. I hope. Maybe there might be a little bit of a delay or lag, but it should work out pretty good. Got my headphones so that I can hear that, but will not be letting everybody else hear the audio. And again, I wish that I could stream this with everybody so that you could all hear it together, but copyrights and all that kind of thing. So here we go. I think without any further ado, if everybody's ready, give me a thumbs up in the chat if you got everything set. JT is reborn, getting my DVD ready. Excellent. Yeah, the DVD, the Blu-ray, all that should be at the same time frame, so we should be good to go. Here we go. And in, let me get my headphones. And in 3, 2, 1, play. Classic Warner Brothers logo. Yeah, again, give me a shout as long as that the music isn't bleeding through or you're hearing too much of that, and we should be good to go. I see Josh P237 is on here ready to go, so that's good. It's kind of weird. I can't hear myself. I'm all muffled, but I guess as long as you guys can hear me, that's what matters. I think I mentioned this last time, but every time that I hear this opening title sequence, I just remember that music coming on and it getting me very excited that Batman was coming up. And these title cards were the indication of whether or not it was, what episode it was going to be. And you knew immediately that it was going to be Feet of Clay. Very disappointed that they don't have those anymore. Hi, Green Arrow. Glad you could join us. If you are just tuning in, you can see up here, there's a timer going, so you can see where we are in the episode if you want to try to jump on and get synced up in there. I mean, the animation in these, it's talked about a lot, but it's really good, but it also is so cinematic. They have such a way of just creating this mood and creating this feeling of the episodes, and the score, obviously, Shirley Walker is amazing. Yeah, the strings kind of really sell it. if you hear rattling, it's my cat, Oswald Cobblecat, is down here just by my microphone, kind of racking around a little bit. Yeah, Brian Parks, you're mentioning that it didn't grab your attention when you first saw this, and it is, and I talk about this in the reviews, that there are certain episodes like this that are two-parters that they pace themselves a little bit differently, and it makes, kind of drawing people in, and kind of builds more suspense and story and development and stuff. And yeah, sometimes I feel slower, but yeah, there's just so much story in there. I think they did a good job of detailing which episodes should be two-parters and which ones weren't. And this one for sure deserved to be a two-parter. And I was first time I saw this, I remember being totally bought into, what is Bruce Wayne doing? Why is he turning on him? And it was this shot when you see Batman up on the roof that you go, wait a minute, what is happening here? And I don't know, for me, I had never heard of Clayface prior to this episode. It was Batman animated series that really introduced me to Clayface, and really Batman in general. I mean, I only started reading the comic books after the fact. I love that shot of Batman coming down like a spider, like a bat that's dropping in there. You see the cobwebs and that. It's just so much detail, so many elements to it. It's so good. It's also really wild watching this after watching so many Batman Beyond episodes, because it's like it just has a very different style. I like Batman Beyond for different reasons, but this just has such a cool, neat style. That's wild. Yes, I think some services it may run at a different time, but again, you can kind of get caught up if your player is playing a little bit faster, a little bit slower. You can kind of see where we're at right there, or at least where I'm at. But generally speaking, we're all should be in the generally the same spot. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. The backgrounds that they just spent so much time on those and picked out the right locations. Like, look at this whole scene takes place in like kind of this abandoned, I don't know if it's a warehouse or it's a but it's got the skylight lights up there and stuff that just make it a nice deliberate look for the episodes. And I truly think, I mean, the story is good. Like, obviously, there's a little mystery there. You hear Lucius talking about Wayne being behind this, and there's always a little bit of a mystery or some sort of intrigue of what's going on. But really, I think it's like it's the animation. Just watching these is what holds up. Sorry to say, they just do not make animated shows like this anymore. You just don't find them, and part of it's just a timing thing and a budget thing, but they really have kind of locked this in. It's so wild because I think seeing this kind of behind the scenes in the movie industry, uh, when let's say I was 10 when this came out, I didn't know how movies were made or behind the scenes other than little clips they have on TV and stuff. And it's not like it is today where you can get behind the scenes and everybody has camera phones that they're filming on set and things. That watching this was like my introduction to how movies worked. Joseph Donovan, thank you so much for the $5 donation. Wow, that was so kind of you. I really appreciate that. You thank you. I really appreciate that. That means a lot to get a little donation. So, wow, I did not expect that. Thank you so much. I'm enjoying doing the channel. So it is very. It's nice that other people are enjoying that as well. And we've got to say, Ron Perlman as the Matt Hagen is such an incredible talent in there. Yeah, it's pretty amazing how they invented these villains. And I know Matt or Clayface had a couple of different origin stories in the comics, but I think that those stories where they somebody here mentioned about Green Arrow mentioned that the Two Face two-parter is one of your favorites, and that the we see Two Face and Mister Freeze and villains like that kind of have a tragic story. And again, it's not pulling any punches. Here we are, 8 minutes into the episode, and we've got this neat little moment of identifying, feeling sorry for the villain. We don't even really know how he's going to become the villain just yet. So it's really pretty cool how they kind of draw you in and make you feel for that character and make you feel for him, and before we really turn out who he is. I love that voice. It's like a character voice from the 50s, like I Love Lucy or Dick Van Dyke, one of those. JT is Reborn. I ranked Feet of Clay Part 1 as 69, and Feet of Clay Part 2 is 59 in my series. Yes, JT is Reborn. I am getting close to 3,000. That was the first live stream I did, was when I hit 1,000, and that seems like it was just yesterday. So, I appreciate everybody that your kind words. This is fun to do, and I'm glad that I'm able to connect with so many of you out there that are enjoying this. I can't get over that Joseph Donovan gave me made a donation of $5. That's such a kind gesture, and I know there's a little icon there that you can do that. I always appreciate that, any kind of support. Ed Asner is here. Cosgrove from Freakazoid for sure. And he's one of those guys that does a lot of voice acting, and is always fun seeing him pop up in there. JCT with Dragon. Not sure how to say that. Hey, good to see you. Glad to hear you. Yeah, I think that casting the voice acting on this, they certainly really did a nice job of picking the right people for the right roles and memorable voices. I know I mentioned this in the comments a few different times, but as I read the comic books of these stories, I hear those voices. Obviously, Kevin Conroy, I hear as Batman. That's my Batman. When I when I hear him, I read the comics. That's who I think of. Penguin, Two Face, Mister Freeze, Clayface, all of them. Mad Hatter is another, Roddy McDowell. I hear their voices when I read the comics. It's kind of wild because they have such iconic voices. Yeah, and it's the supporting characters. Brian Parks mentioned Roland Daggett kind of making the show, and you're right. It is. I remember when I was watching the show, and obviously they were all out of order when you're watching them. Just afternoon television shows, And it's so wild when you see those episodes and you start learning who the characters are that aren't in every episode. Obviously, we know Batman, we know Robin, and those, but it's these other characters, the Roland Daggetts and the I'm drawing a blank, Leslie Thompson and the Alfreds and Commissioner Gordon and those supporting characters that kind of make it different. Charlie Smith discovered me for the first time yesterday. Yeah, we're constantly getting new people on here. Charlie, welcome. Hey, thanks so much for tuning in, and glad that you're here. And please share away. I want to do more of these. I want to share this with more people. I know there's a lot of people out there that love Batman the Animated Series and the DC cartoons just as much as we all do. Yeah, Fierce Stranger. Nobody used Renew You as a real product name. That is pretty good. That's true. Yeah, and let's hear it for Ron Perlman doing an excellent Kevin Conroy impersonation. I'm just kidding. I know it was actually Kevin Conroy. Yeah, JT is reborn. Absolutely. Every time I tune into these episodes, especially, like I said, when I'm watching Batman Beyond and going back to these episodes, and some of these, honestly, I have not watched since I reviewed it. Now, I guess I was 2017, 3 years ago. Oh my gosh. I was doing the original Batman the Animated Series, and so some of these episodes I have not watched since then, and watching Batman Beyond, which is good on its own merit and has a lot of great things going for it. The animation, I think we can all agree, the animation is just not as detailed and character driven. It's more of a stylized kind of art form. And I know it's a budget thing and time thing and all of that, but yeah, it is a wild thing to see that way. Oop, sorry, timer went away for a second. Sorry, had to adjust the timer there. So the timer started creeping off. I had to adjust that. Sorry. Again, I have the timer up here. If you're just tuning in and taking a look at what we're doing, we're watching Feet of Clay, episode 1 right now, and we're 15 minutes and 18 seconds into it. So if you want to tune it in and get caught up, then you can by all means do that, or just listen to my commentary, watch the episode later. Also, that sound that we just heard of the Batwing flying over was, whew. I mean, the sound design, so good, so good. Yeah, Matthew McLean, it is much more hand-drawn and expressive. It's the difference of what they can do with, computers versus you can see the individual pencil lines. And I know some people have different feelings about the kind of the Blu-ray high definition upgrade of the animation, but I like it because you can see the actual pencil marks and you can see like imperfections, which is just makes it look to me that much more real and raw. I mean, when I was first watching this, I think we had a 19-inch tube TV that I was watching and tuning it in with the rabbit ears, so never saw this amount of detail for sure. That's correct. Yeah, the colors are so good. And obviously putting them on black paper is the way that they did these backgrounds. But it's just the full package. The animation, the color, the voice acting, the sound design, the music, the sound effects. Incidentally, I have a question for all of you. My brother just bought found the Hot Wheels version of the animated series Batwing, and I have some of the Batmobiles up here on the wall that he's gifted me. But on the package, it says Batplane, and it's the animated series version. It has a logo on it and everything, DC licensed product, but it says Batplane. Is it called the Batplane in the animated series, or is it the Batwing? Anybody know? Let me know in the comment sections here. Tim Curry as Scarecrow in a Schumacher film. That would have been pretty cool. I mean, you'll never see Superman interrogating a criminal like this. This is the thing that I like about Batman is, he's not just out there helping the police. He's doing the thing that police can't do. Obviously, police cannot interrogate somebody like this. Or like in The Dark Knight, where when Batman's interrogating the Joker, great scene, Heath Ledger and Christian Bale, that it's like, that's the thing police can't do. And I love that we have this moment where he faints, which naturally that would probably happen. Brian Parks, you do have the Batwing. Does it say Batwing or Batplane? Because I thought the one he said said Batplane. Yeah, the poor thug's car just got dumped in the river. I love the idea of having a pool on the rooftop. That would be, if I lived in Gotham City, I'm sure that's expensive. It does say Batplane. Isn't that weird? Is that odd? It's a licensed thing, but I thought it was common knowledge that it's... If you see the camera moving, again, it's my cat, Oswald Cobblecat. Come here. Come here. Let's have you say hi to everybody. This is Oswald Cobblecat, and he is obviously named after Oswald Cobblepot. For anybody that says that I'm not a true Batman fan, my cat is named after the real name of the Penguin. So he likes to make an appearance, and he pops in my episodes from time to time. So you can probably hear him purring now too. Okay. All right. I'm with you, JT is Reborn. I would love to see a movie done in this style. The closest I think we got was the opening scene in Zack Snyder's Justice League, where Batman is capturing the parademons. That look was real close to this style. Unfortunately, the rest of the movie was not as much. And then obviously we have the climactic ending here. That theme, the Clayface theme, coming in there. So good. And so far, I mean, so there you have it. They're to be continued. I mean, so there you have this tragic villain that gets introduced at the last moment here of the episode. And so his whole first part, we haven't actually seen Clayface and not really certainly do much harm. So before we get into the second episode here, everything went away for me here. Hang on. Okay. Pause that. Back to 0. All right. So I think this is queued up for I'll give everybody a little chance to get caught up. If you're just tuning in, you can hang tight. In just a moment, we're going to start part 2, Feet of Clay part 2. And again, I'll have the timer going here for that one so that you can see where we're at if you're tuning in late. But let me look at some of the comments here. Your Josh P237. Your Rottweiler's name is Bruce Wayne. That is so cool. That's a great name for a dog. I love that. I had a gerbil when I was probably, honestly, it was probably around this, like 10, 11, 12, maybe a little younger, 8 or 9. And his name was Batman. I just went straight for the gold, like just named him Batman. I want to see a video game in this style. Yes, Moods. A video game in this style would also be cool. There is, and I did a video about it. I don't think I have it nearby, but it was a like a viewfinder game, which was like another episode of Batman the Animated Series, which was kind of neat, kind of interesting. But there's but yeah, a full game in that. I know in some of the Arkham Knight games, you can, I guess I could take these off now. You can change the skin of Batman to Batman the Animated Series, but nothing else changes. It's all the same. Jason, my brother. Yes. That's when we lived together. We shared a room at home, and he mentioned that Batman, my gerbil, he would bite you if you tried to feed him. Yeah, we had it. He got mean towards the end of his life, and we had a system where you would tap one end of the glass and distract him while you fed him, because if not, he would come and grab your thumb or your finger. And I distinctly remember being in the top bunk in our bedroom, and Danny went to feed him, and he bit him, and Danny instinctually just jerked his hand out. And when he did that, the gerbil went flying through the air. Batman hit the wall, slid down, and survived. We jumped down. We had to get some towels and try to capture him and put him back in the cage. But yeah, he got mean there a little while. And Danny, I don't know if you were on here earlier, but we were talking about somebody else on here. Brian Parks, I think, also has that Hot Wheels bat plane. And the consensus is yes, on the show it was called Batwing, but for whatever reason, I don't know why Hot Wheels has it listed as at Batplane. Maybe they'll correct it and it'll be worth millions of dollars because they didn't know. Again, in just a couple of minutes, if you need to get a snack or something more to drink, or go to the bathroom, whatever you need, we'll have a little intermission here, but we'll start the part 2, Feet of Clay, here shortly. Yeah, poor Batman. Yeah. Sorry, let me acknowledge what I'm reading. Brian Parks mentioned that Matt didn't treat Teddy too well, and I think they were kind of whoa. Oh, hang on. My cat's playing with the light. Let me fix this. Yeah. I was like, why is the light going out? It was, I thought the power was going out, but all this was still going. But he was playing with the cord of the lamp. That's a real good way to get electrocuted. But he's okay. Yeah, get Paul Dini on the writing. Yes. All right. So we're going to get started here. Jump into part 2 with this and get this started. So we should be. Let me make sure I'm on the right episode here. I think it's right. And let me see what's going on here. Clay. Stand by as I get this adjusted. For some reason, DC Universe, which it was still, it tried to switch to the next episode, but it wasn't going. Yeah, who is flickering lights? SpongeBob reference, nice. Okay, so here we go. Getting started. Part 2, Feet of Clay, in 3, 2, 1, play. There we go. Okay, it worked. Oop. Oh, there we go. Got the timer going. Okay, good. Oh my gosh. Now he's just laying on the cord of the light. Again, we're watching the opening title. Any chance I get to watch this, I do. So there you have it. I'm going to mute my mic real quick and have a little snack. No, this video is not sponsored by Reese's, but if Reese you're watching, I'd love to make a deal. I mean, just listen to that theme. I just like no other cartoon does that, has that kind of element. Batman arrested. I remember that being a jarring image, seeing Batman in prison. Even the style, very film noir there, where they establish, okay, Bruce Wayne in prison, showing these couple of mug shots and these little spots there, and it you see it all kind of sequential through there. Yeah, Green Arrow, Batman coming back, or actually Michael Keaton coming back as Batman. You know what I don't have? I have several suits, and because I hosted a TV show where I had to wear a suit and tie, or I didn't have to. We chose to. It was a gimmick. But I don't have a brown suit with a yellow shirt. I really need to get that outfit and pay homage to Batman because he always wore that. Also, for as rich as Bruce Wayne is, you'd think he'd have more suits, but I know in the comics they have some really incredible designs of Clayface and some very intimidating images of the of the character, and obviously in comic books, in still frames, but I think they really boil down the essence of the character really well in this one. That's a great idea. JT is Reborn is to get prints of all the episode, the title cards. I had thought about doing that, incorporating them somewhere in the. I got a wall over here that's kind of empty, and doing little images of all of the pictures of the title cards would be really cool. Or even like shirts. I don't know why they should have shirts that are just those images. There's $1 million idea for you. Excuse me. Yeah, Hagen's revenge story. Really good. And I love that, when they do these flashbacks and it's kind of in a sepia tone. And this is really, and it's interesting. Again, here we have the pacing of this. We're into the second episode and we're finally finding out what was going on with Matt Hagen. And again, a quick flashback. Didn't spend a lot of time on there trying to feed that in there, but just getting it just enough in there. This is cool. Going through and seeing all the different images. Yeah, Brian Parks mentioning about the henchman having kind of a germaphobe kind of thing. And again, it's just that layer of detail that they put into these characters. It could just be a generic henchman, just a generic guy, but they put in a little bit of a different, different quirk to him to kind of establish into the character, which I like. I think that's a great tie in there. That imagery, that writing of like it's like tensing a muscle. Like I remember as a kid thinking about that. I'm like, okay, yeah, what would it be like to like tense your entire body and how much concentration that would it would take to form yourself into different. I thought, what a great imagery for that to go. It's like tensing a muscle. I thought I could really tie into that. Moods, you're right. It does. It is a very emotional score, and I think those are those things that they tie in there that just work so well. Andy Reid, Joker, Tim Curry as the Joker. Yes, you're right. That was what he was originally supposed to play, but he would make a good Scarecrow. I think that would have been cool to see him as that. Yeah, the animation, the transformation, animation of the transformation of Clayface is pretty spot on, and especially towards the end of this episode, is quite a feat to like animate that. It's just so crazy. I just can't even I can't get over how they were able to do that drawn frame by frame. Again, if you're just tuning in, we're on episode 2 of Feet of Clay, which you can see the timer up here and be able to jump in, or you can go back to the beginning and watch it at your own pace. But this gives you a little indication of where we're at in the episode, if you would like. I love his voice. I don't know. That was a really poor impression, but I do like his voice. If you've seen some of those radio shows that we've been doing over on my other channel, Stormy Night Studios, I'm always looking for those new voices to incorporate there and just having some fun doing it. And again, like here's another way of Batman intimidating somebody and using his skills as a uh, as a interrogator and doing what nobody else could do, and being able to jump in with uh, you know sorry, I got distracted. Being able to use different tactics to scare him, and that little tie-in the end. Hey, Rob, good to see you. So glad for you to join us. Better late than ever. Absolutely. We got the timer up here. If you just want to jump in here, you can see we're on episode 2. But obviously, you can go back and watch this from the beginning. But so glad that you're here. Another longtime supporter of the channel. So nice for you to join us. And a talented filmmaker. If you haven't seen his Batman fan film, you got to check it out. It's great. If you want to pop a link in there, Rob, so that other people can see that. It's really good. Well done. I love that when Clayface turns into Batman's head, the silhouette there. So cool. That always frightened me too. Is like when it turns into the metal piece there. You deserve it, Rob. You're yeah, there it is, Living in Crime Alley. It is. It's really good. Hats off to you for making that, and I keep seeing your continued success with that, and it's very cool. I'd like to. I know we got to do something. I got to have you on the channel, and we got to talk about your process in making that. We'll get that to happen here soon. Yep, now Clayface is born. This was cool. Jumping off the building. I think that it's these kind of things, these little elements that make me. I mean, Clayface is probably one of my favorite villains, and I think yeah, it's the shape shifting thing is really cool, but also just how hard it is for Batman to fight him. I mean, the Batarang just slides right through him. He just can jump off a building and kersplat and be able to just it's so incredible and a good foe for Batman to go up against. I think that's what makes it so cool. That's right. Zeta Magnus 101. I forgot about that. I think I mentioned that in my original review of this, but Max Schreck was supposed to be the guy in this episode, and they changed it to Roland Daggett. I think that's the character he was supposed to be. I gotta go back and watch my own review and remember what I said. But I remember that coming up in there. Count on it, Rob. We'll make that happen. I'll be reaching out to you soon, and we'll get something set up. Rob, good question. I want to say yes. I want to say, I mean, with technology now, with the CGI and all of that, I would think that they could do Clayface justice in a live action film. And you know, right now, just speaking strictly on could they tackle that character, and they did Sandman and Spider-Man and those. So I want to think technologically they could achieve that, but could they do the right story? Could they justify having a big screen version and not? What I would hate to see is them throw the character away by putting him just as a secondary character in another movie, like they did with Bane and Batman and Robin was kind of a big disappointment. What does everybody else think? Do you think they could do Clayface on the big screen in a movie? Yeah, I would have loved to see more Clayface in these episodes. But the ones that he was in were really, all of them were really phenomenal. This character is great that Clayface becomes. It's really pretty cool. I love this line right here. What a great moment. Like those are I don't know if they use that in promos or what, but that specific line, why don't you tell them about me, was, I mean, it's like burned in my memory, and like I remember seeing that as a kid over and over again. And certainly I think that a lot of these episodes, I talked about this in the reviews, is like a lot of these episodes with the in the first season, in the first half of the first season, was I remember seeing a lot of them. I remember, and I think because I'm pretty sure I started watching this from the beginning. I don't think I watched every episode as it came out, but certainly in the first pass of it, I was excited to see Batman in animated form, and so to see this, so for it to be like, you know, in these early episodes, obviously, okay, they got 10 episodes that are out, and they were on every day. You'd see the same episodes over and over again. Yeah, that there is some great themes in there, Rob. You're right with an actor and trying to uh, uh, having a second chance and trying to relying on his looks and kind of the dualities and things like that. And also, and I don't know, maybe this is just personal, but when I always love episodes of movies about the making of movies, and you watch old classic movies, and you see that a lot more. You see them, a lot of the Marx Brothers and I was gonna say Looney Tunes, Looney Tunes too, but Three Stooges, and there's so many movies, classic movies that are about making movies or making theater, and I always found that really interesting. And they don't do that as much anymore. And this would be a great story to tie into that. The actor that has this accident and is just trying to get his life back, and what that does to him. Nick Green, yeah, he is. He's such a tragic character, and you and me both. He's one of my favorites as well. Oh, that's right, Rob. Yeah, Abyss, and that was like '90s. That was some pretty incredible CG. I know that. I mean, there's certainly bad CG out there, but when it's done well, and works, and that would be the thing. This movie would have to have the budget to be able to really make it good, make it really stand out. This is so cool. I mean, to go from attacking Batman to, I mean, you can just feel the emotion of this, of seeing who he once was being presented back to him. Is It's moving. Images of his past haunting him is hmm. Yeah, you're right. JT is reborn. They would need a really versatile actor to play him, and also I think it would be really cool if they found uh, a real, how do I say it, like a real celebrity, uh, washed up celebrity, or kind of a somebody that kind of jumps in that we could associate, like they did in Grey Ghost with having Batman Adam West play the Grey Ghost as kind of that homage. And I'm trying to think of an example, but like an actor that was big 20 years ago and we haven't heard as much from, to put him into a role like that would be really cool. Javier Bardem, that I could see that. Matthew K, hi, welcome. We have the timer here. We're just winding down on the second episode of Feet of Clay, but you can always go back to the beginning. Even that read the notices is such a 1940s term for for the show. And I love that time period. I mean, like I said, I've said it a lot, but this is what got me interested in that time period, was this show. The kid from Home Alone, psychology, Macaulay Culkin. Yeah, that would be cool. He's like in his 30s, so to see him playing a role like that, yes, exactly. That's what I think would be cool. Somebody like him. I want to say, like what they did with Robert Downey Jr. in Iron Man. Obviously, I don't think it would work to have him come over and play Clayface. Maybe. I mean, he's done doing Iron Man now, but like that, where he was kind of on his way out and down and out and kind of got a second chance with Iron Man. I'd like to see something like that. Mm-hmm. Greatest scene of his career. Yeah, that's the sequence in the control room that I was talking about. Is like, just the animation of that is incredible, and this laugh, chilling. Ron Perlman's so good, so good. Well, there you have it. Feet of Clay. Just such a phenomenal episode. I can't even. Uh, Let me get this. Oh, starting another episode. Oh, now it plays the other episode. There you go. Yeah, it is just incredible episode. Watching it again with all of you was really a great thrill, because there is so much. I don't know why I get used to headphones or something, but it was a great thrill. I love the comments and putting out there, and it was a lot of fun. The final thoughts. This episode still holds up just like any of the other Batman the Animated Series shows. It's so incredible that after all this time, this episode's now 20, let's see, 92, not good at math, 27 years old. Is that right? Something like that. And still holds up. I mean, this episode, I mean, I would put it against, I think I would put it against any animated show out there now. Is just absolutely incredible, because it just holds up. The story, the animation. A lot of you were mentioning about the animation and the voice acting, and just the care and the detail in it is just superb. I mean, it's just there's nothing like it. Nick Green, I do still have the Blu-ray set, which again, I this is probably a whole nother video, but if you don't know, DC Universe, the subscription service, is switching just to DC Universe Infinite, Infinite, I think it is, and it's just going to be just a database of comic books, which is great, and I do like the comic book reader on there. Unfortunately, they're as of right now, or at least last I heard, they're not lowering the price. So they're getting rid of all the video content. Most of it is moved over to HBO Max. And I'm like, yeah, if you want to keep watching the video content like these episodes or the movies or anything like that, and obviously there's a lot more on HBO Max, it feels like now you're just getting comic books that should be lower. Anyway, that I'll probably do a whole video about that. But yeah, I do have the short answer to your question is yes, I do still have the Blu-rays, and I'm gonna have to go back to watching those. It is nice just having it on streaming, just to click play and go. But unfortunately, that's going away. Good point. Moods. It is better than a lot of live action shows. It's timeless. Cameron Ralston. Yeah, I've seen that episode. I actually have the Batman complete. Yeah, the complete series of DVD. Beware of the Grey Rose. That's one of my favorites. Yes, it is. My favorite as well. Nick Green. I don't know. I would probably, for the purpose of the collection, aspect, I would probably get the Batman Beyond Blu-ray. I don't have it yet. Rob, no HBO Max in the UK. Yes, that's right. Hopefully that will be coming. My biggest hiccup with that is HBO Max is not on Roku, which is how I do most of my streaming. So that's a bummer. Yeah, see, that's the thing. It's like it's just not a one-to-one comparison. They eliminate one service and then they don't have a good way of keeping it going. And like you said, yeah, it's not available in the UK, which is a huge market that they're missing out on. And I know that's where you're at. So that's a bummer. Favorite episode, Robin's Reckoning. That's another one. That's another great one. Nice. Your JT is reborn is saying that favorite episode is Robin's Reckoning 1. Second favorite, Robin's Reckoning 2. That's good. Again, thank you so much. I'm going to wrap up here. We've been on for about an hour. Thank you so much for everybody that joined us. Again, if you're just tuning in or just hopping on here in the last minute, go back to the beginning and the timer will be going and you can sync up and watch the episodes at your own rate. And like I said, I want to try to do this kind of on a more regular basis. Again, there's a little button down there. We had a donation earlier. Thank you so much for hitting that donation button. And if you're so inclined, obviously, any donations that I get and all the money that comes from the ad revenue goes back into the channel to help it keep going and being able to do more videos like this. And it's just it's a fun hobby for me. This isn't my primary stream of income, but it is certainly fun to do. And most fun is being able to connect with all of you. So keep your eyes peeled. I think I'm planning on trying to do this, like I said, on kind of a weekly basis, at least for the foreseeable future. Next week being Thanksgiving, if you celebrate that, might be a little bit different. But here very soon, I want to do another live stream, another watch along, or some sort of live videos, because it's certainly nice being able to talk to all of you. A lot of times I'm just sort of making these videos here by myself, but it's nice to get immediate feedback. Thank you all for the very kind words for Josh P237. Never stop. I plan on keeping it going. There's plenty of cartoons to go back and talk about. Targi, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that. Yes, I will have a great day. So thank you all so much for tuning in. All of you, I wish I could read all your names, but some of these comments are rolling through here. But know that I love you and I appreciate all of your support and kind words for always being here to support the channel, whether you've been here from the beginning or just coming in new. And share content. That's a great way of helping me out. If you see these videos and like them and have a friend that you think would enjoy them as well, then by all means hop on there and share away. So thanks again, everybody, and I will see you all very soon. Cheers.